Have you ever noticed how we see the crowd as something out there apart from who we are? Yet the truth is that each of us is the crowd. Its chaos and aspirations are woven into our own being. So if we long for a deep revolution in the wider world, we must turn inward first, because the real shift isn't found out there among speeches and manifestos, but right here in the subtle realm of our own minds. We find ourselves drawn to change because of a restless unease with who we are. We imagine a loftier ideal, a more harmonious way of being. But that very longing often leaves us in conflict, tugged between how life is and how we'd like it to be. Suffering, anxiety, discontent. These are the sparks that drive us toward transformation. Yet the key is not to chase an ideal, but to understand with clear-eyed awareness the nature of our discontent. When we truly see the necessity of genuine transformation, we don't do it to be good citizens, or to earn spiritual brownie points, or to climb into heaven. It's simply that real change is essential in and of itself. If you love something purely for no external reward, it shines forth brilliantly on its own. And in that luminous clarity, you discover the heart of compassion, an alchemy far more potent than any well-intentioned reform or moral crusade. The world has never lacked fiery speeches or grand debates. Yet nothing truly changes unless there's a radical shift in our own consciousness. We often assume we need a formula, a roadmap, or a guru to coax us into action. But the more we try to follow a ready-made plan, the more we dissipate our energy, because real revolution isn't about fitting into someone else's blueprint. We sense at times that our daily encounters and challenges are prodding us toward a profound inner revolution. But instead of opening to that invitation, we often cling to ideals of what we ought to be. And while ideas can inspire, they cannot perform the deep surgery that true transformation requires. Such change demands unwavering attention, an alertness to how we squander our energy through resistance, conflict, or blind conformity. In truth, most of us settle into the easy habit of compliance, or follow the path of least effort. But when you see how your energy is drained by laziness or resignation, you might try to push through that inertia only to breed more inner tension, more conflict. This is precisely where we must be vigilant, to gather and sustain our energy without further entangling ourselves in inner battles. For the world to be renewed, each of us must awaken, quietly, without fanfare, to our own inner depths. When that awakening strikes like lightning, it's not something you orchestrate through willpower. It arises naturally in a flash of realization. From that shift in consciousness, there flows a vitality that isn't squandered on inner resistance or outer submission. This fresh perception, this new mind, is what fuels a profound revolution. Not just in your personal life, but in the shared tapestry of humankind. We often say, life is the meaning of existence. But are we truly living? And is life genuinely worth living when we're hounded by fear or constantly molded by a system that teaches us only to imitate and conform? Can we rightly call it living if it's just a matter of tagging along behind others, whether they be saints, politicians, or brilliant scholars? If you observe yourself with meticulous honesty, you may discover that so much of what we call living is following some authority figure, seeking reassurance from those who know. Then at the end of it all, when life seems near its close, we ask in a moment of anxiety or nostalgia, what is the meaning of it all? You see, life's meaning remains obscured so long as we're bowing to authority. Real freedom from such authority is not a matter of simply breaking a rule here or there. It's about understanding the subtle ways in which the mind sets up authority to provide a sense of certainty and security. We crave to be told what is right or good, and in that craving we slip into the clutches of gurus and ideologues. As long as we are copying, imitating, and marching dutifully behind another's lead, we cannot possibly fathom what life truly is. How can we know the richness of life if all we seek is success, security, and the comfort of some external guide telling us we're on the correct path? Before we venture into talk of life's purpose, let's ask, what do we mean by life? And what do we mean by purpose? Life includes all our daily activities, our usual thoughts, our common feelings. It includes all the mundane routines, the many twists of pain, anxiety, longing, and deception. It's business meetings, office work, family struggles, traffic jams, heartbreak, triumph, and everything else in between. When we speak of life, we're not pointing to some floating abstraction, but to the entire panorama of our existence, our relationships to all things, people, and ideas. Yet so often, because we find those relationships confusing, full of fears, compulsions, and unfulfilled desires, we start to hanker after a grand purpose outside of that living tapestry. We want a tidy goal, something to cling to from dawn to dusk, a cosmic security blanket that will guide us to the very end. But perhaps if we see life clearly, if we sense its depth and dynamic flow, then simply living is already complete in itself. We might discover that a free and uncluttered mind, one that is not shackled by illusions or traditions, is itself the supreme purpose. After all, only in freedom can we stumble upon genuine truth. We often ask, what is the aim or goal of life? But why do we ask such a thing? Perhaps it's because we feel muddled within, unsure, insecure, adrift. We hope that by installing a grand purpose at the center of our lives, we can anchor ourselves against the storm. Yet the crux is not to hunt for some universal goal, but to understand our own confusion, our own sorrow, fear, and self-made burdens. We scramble to escape inner turmoil instead of facing it. And that is why the question of life's purpose seems so pressing. We figure, if only I had a shining goal, I'd be free of this tension. But that merely pushes the discord underground. To be fully alive, to feel the vibrant meaning of our existence, we must come to terms with the daily difficulties that dog us, the tangled relationships, the anxieties, the social expectations, the heartbreaks. We cannot simply flee from them forever. Our society, our entire environment, reflects what we are, and each of us must understand that intimately for ourselves, not farm it out to philosophers, gurus, or professors. We all sense a profound need for change, both in our immediate circumstances and in how we meet each moment. That transformation can't be handed to us. We must discover it from within. Why are we alive? What's the ultimate meaning? You may ask. But why pose this question at all? Do we demand to know because life feels hollow, routine, or dull? If life were brimming with vibrant clarity, would the question even arise? We often want more from life because the life we currently experience seems painfully thin, little more than a repetitive cycle. We dream that there must be something beyond the mundane, a grander narrative that will fill our emptiness. But a mind that's shallow and a heart that's hollow cannot conjure a meaning that isn't likewise hollow. Thus our main challenge is not to conjure a lofty purpose, but to enrich our lives from within. And not with money or accolades, but with genuine depth of feeling and sensitivity to what is. If you declare that the purpose of life is to find God or to become perpetually happy, such a statement can just as easily become an escape from reality. You turn God into a concept and spend your days climbing a ladder of belief. But that climb, however heroic, may not lead anywhere real, only deeper into a figment of your imagination. We discover life's sacredness through loving relationships and genuine action, not by fleeing our emptiness. Love, uncalculated and limitless, is itself a revelation of the divine. The real question is, why have our lives become so empty that we feel compelled to chase a purpose in the first place? If we understood our own depths, our relationships to each other, to society, to ourselves, we might realize that real fulfillment lies in living those relationships authentically, Loneliness breeds the scramble for some higher purpose. But love needs no search. It reveals itself in how we engage with life. Only those who haven't tasted true love wonder what the grand design might be. Once there's love, the question dissolves. Love is the purpose, and in that sense, love is the divine. So, if you must ask about the purpose of life, look first into how you relate. Look at whether you're running from confusion rather than understanding it. Look into your heart. See whether it's brimming with genuine affection or simply repeating borrowed phrases. In so doing, you may discover that life needs no external justification. In the fullness of each moment, it is both the journey and the destination, the question and the answer, the emptiness and the overflowing cup, all in one.